X-Men 97 is maybe one of my favorite Marvel productions in the last few years. I thoroughly enjoyed that show. So obviously the fact that the head writer of season 1 and had done season 2 and 3 already, when he was let go and Marvel decided that they were going to go a different direction from what he had written for season 2, I got a little bit nervous. Now I've not seen the trailer yet for season 2. That's what we're about to do in about 10 seconds. So I'm not sure where this is going, but it sounds like maybe they scrapped the Age of Apocalypse line that they built up for at the end of season 1. I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous because the creator of season 1 did such a phenomenal job with this. The fact that they're trying to get away from everything he did just feels like maybe they're going to go in the wrong direction. But let's watch this trailer and see if this lives up to what the hype of season 1 built up for us, or if maybe this does kind of fall a little bit flat. Let's jump right into it.
Completely overrated.
It's
Bishop?
hard to believe what's not waiting for me. Someone I lost.
I can't decide if I want them to bring Gambit back or not.
Special.
Nice.
The X-Men are scattered through time.
Okay.
In the
Clearly they
past,
are going Age of
the
Apocalypse.
start of Apocalypse's reign.
Nice.
To the future at the height of his rule.
The X-Men. I must strike them at their most vulnerable.
I love it.
The 1990s.
Really?
Could have at least bought me a drink first.
What? Love the music.
Gotta get the X-Men back
Love the art style.
to the 90s.
You fight a battle that cannot be won. Against the dawn of an age that cannot be stopped.
This isn't just about us. It's about everyone we've lost.
From the beginning of time to the reaches of time.
Oh, Psylocke.
We stand together right here, right now.
Holy crap.
I believe in the X-Men.
Okay. Holy crap.
We're back, baby.
Yeah, we are. Oh my god. Okay, that exceeded a lot of my expectations. I realized it's just a trailer and like, oh look, a guy on the internet got excited. But like, oh my god, there's a lot we have to talk about. The way I usually do this is we watch the trailer and then I'll go back to certain scenes, and it's like almost every scene of this is something I feel like I want to talk about. This could be a longer one, guys. Let's get into it. Okay, so right off the bat, I kind of just like the way this is framed with the Disney logo right in the center of it. I love Bishop, so seeing him in the middle of that's kind of cool, but whatever. We don't really know anything about what this is or what timeline this is. Now, I mentioned I don't really know if I want to bring Gambit back or not. I like Gambit quite a bit, but also he had an incredible outro in the last season that like I don't necessarily want his sacrifice to be taken back. You know what I mean? Like I liked where they went with that. I would like it if they bring him back maybe eventually, but not like episode 1. You know what I mean? Like if it's something like maybe by the end of the entire season or even the start of season 3, he comes back in some way. Even then though, like it's like Robert Downey Jr. Like you want to see him back as Iron Man, but also if he comes back, then it's like, well, what was the point, right? It was such a awesome episode, the one he went out in. So it's talking about the X-Men being scattered through time. So you've got Nightcrawler, Rogue, Beast, Professor Xavier, and Magneto here in like what appears to be ancient Egypt. I love that in a second we're going to see Nsaba Nur, which is Apocalypse when he was like first born. He is the first mutant canonically, not like Namor was the first one created, but like he is the first one in storyline. So here's Nsaba Nur, Apocalypse, if you will, back when he was first like, I want to say created, that's not the right term, but like when he was young, There is a comic line about this age of his life, which I didn't love. I did read recently. I'm in the middle of reading The Age of Apocalypse, actually. It was interesting to read, but it wasn't like my favorite comic book ever. But I do love that they are touching on this. We are seeing him at that apex, or at the beginning, but also we're going to see him later on in the future when he is more of the apocalypse looking character with technology surrounding him and whatnot. I love that it's the purple and blue too. It's so cheesy, but it's great. I think the shift here is really cool, going from the Sphinx to the apocalypse like pyramid structure here. You've got the obelisks around it. It was the main pyramid. I think it looks really cool. Feels very apocalyptical. It feels very much like something Apocalypse would do. Now he says, I must strike them at their most vulnerable, the 1990s, which is very funny to me because I feel like the 90s X-Men was actually maybe one of the stronger groups, but okay. Now in this universe, like, I mean, in as a reader of the comic books, you think the X-Men started in the 60s, but that would make Cyclops in the 90s, 50. So obviously that's not what we're going with. So maybe the 1990s is supposed to be the start of the team. I'm not 100% about the in lore of the X-Men or in the TV show, their lore. So like maybe they started in like 89 and then in the 90s they're still figuring out who they are, kind of a thing. The show takes place in 97. I don't know. Who knows? We've obviously got the picture here of the classic X-Men, although with Polaris in there with them, which is interesting. I've never known her to be part of that original group. Um, is that supposed to be them in the 90s? Maybe. Why is Jean Grey doing Wolverine claws? I don't know. And I don't necessarily care. It's cool. And with a lot of X-Men, kind of rule of cool is all I need. So go for it. All right, now there's probably a lot of different ways they could have achieved this effect. The Wolverine claws is a fun way to do it. Especially we've got the Grant Morrison X-Men. Is that the correct era here for these costumes? I'm pretty sure it is. So you've got her using the Wolverine claws to separate his beam to hit presumably 6 separate targets. Again, there's multiple ways they could have done that, but it's cool and I'll allow it. I think it's cool that you get a continuation of Jubilee and Sunspot, their character arc that they started in the first season. I think that's fun. I'm not the best at animation, but like, am I crazy or is this actually a different animation style? Maybe because of the year or because of the location than say this. Like this X-Men looks very different to me than this X-Men. That's not a complaint. That's probably a stylistic choice on purpose because of what we're seeing or when we're seeing it or where in the world we're seeing it. But it's cool that they took the time to do something like that. And maybe I'm completely wrong. People are just gonna yell at me like, no, that's clearly the exact same animation style. I don't know. It feels very different. Maybe it's just flashier because of her powers. I'm not 100% sure, but it's cool. Oh, is this Nate? Is this a young Cable? That's interesting. Wait, did young Cable? Oh man, I'm gonna get roasted. Young Cable doesn't have the metallic arm though, does he? Because he doesn't have the techno-organic virus yet. Because like theoretically, Cable, if he didn't have to use so much of his power just keeping the virus under control, would be a very powerful mutant. I mean, he already is a very powerful mutant, but he's super powerful and he's using most of his power just to keep himself from dying half the time. But if you had a young Nate, I don't think he has that limitation. But well, whatever. They're doing their own thing with the story, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this isn't even Nate, but interesting. Yell at me in the comics if you want. Also, I've seen a lot of the X-Men wearing this blue and gold. I can't picture Storm wearing it. Like I know like even Gambit and like Psylocke wore it. I did not like that era. The everybody wearing the exact same blue and gold. That wasn't my favorite era of the comics. I can't ever remember Storm wearing it though, which I'm almost positive we're seeing here. Yeah, like I can picture Storm in her black suit. I can picture her as the punk rocker. I can picture her in the white costume. I don't. This doesn't strike me as familiar in any way, shape, or form. And like she's got a cape on, but with it not connected, I don't know if it would catch the wind as well as her costume is supposed to. Like, whatever. Anyways, it looks fine. It's not my favorite era of X-Men. I like when Cyclops wears this, and that's pretty much it. When they start making everybody look like Cyclops, I didn't care for that era. I'm gonna get roasted a little bit here. I recognize this character. I swear I do, but I cannot place them to save my life. This isn't Sentinel Prime. No, I don't know. I swear I've seen this design before. All right, so right off the top, we've got Magic, Colossus' sister. It looks like Marrow down here. I thought there'd be more people that I'd recognize here, but honestly, most of them are pretty small. Gambit looks like here with the bow staff. I can't quite tell who the purple face is. Gambit here again. not sure who the pictures on either side here are. Nice little memorial. Now, is this, we saw Exodus earlier, but this almost looks like Colossus, but wearing the Magneto's acolyte's costume. Like it looks like the silver skin there. I don't know. There's a lot going on in every scene here. This is so cool. Got the hieroglyphics of Apocalypse with Charles, Magneto, Rogue, Nightcrawler, probably Bishop, and then obviously Beast. See, this is what I love, is we're seeing not only different iterations of the character, but we're seeing all the different costumes, but like in a way that makes sense. Like it's like, here's what you want to see, or here's the thing. Like, remember this, remember this. But if they're time traveling, they're doing all these things, it'll make sense as opposed to just like random costume changes. Like in season 1, the one thing I didn't love was that we had Magneto in the M costume. Like that's just never been a costume of his that I really enjoyed. I always prefer the red and the purple. And it felt kind of like, yeah, okay, so be it. But like in this, if we're traveling through different time periods, different eras, making all the different costume changes makes perfect sense. And I'm super happy for it. Like it just looks so good. In fact, I actually just got this toy recently, so cool. I am a huge fan of Psylocke. I love that we've got Psylocke and Archangel in the same scene there. The two of them always play really well together. I hope this is in fact what we're looking at. I would love to get more Psylocke. I think the original TV show only had like 1 episode with her. I hope this isn't like a Morph thing. You know what I mean? Like the scene right before this, you see Morph turning into Deadpool. It'd be cool to actually get Deadpool and like 90s X-Men Deadpool, like the mercenary, not Ryan Reynolds Deadpool. I like Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, but it's a very different character. But like I want like the killer, not the jokester. But yeah, give me all the Psylocke you possibly can. We see an older looking Magneto with claw marks across his face. Obviously, this could be anything, but you have to assume this is Wolverine and him getting into a fight of some kind. Obviously, the Master of Magnetism shouldn't have a whole lot to fear from somebody whose entire skeleton is made of adamantium, but of course, there's also the time period where he doesn't have adamantium. I hope we get more of whatever this is. Like, we get the bit of a backstory, but honestly, I don't need it. The imagery is just cool enough. And here we have an amalgamation. Like you've got the Grant Morrison X-Men, you've got the blue and gold aura X-Men, you've got the original Wolverine, Cable's looking more like himself, Storm's in like an older costume. Like this is not like, this is like 3 different time frames all at once, at least 3 different time frames, which I think is a super cool way of doing it. I really like that. This is never my favorite costumes, but at the same time, they're kind of cool to see in animation, which I never thought we would. I just love what they're doing with this show so far. I realize it's just a trailer, but like, man, I want to go back and watch season 1 again right now. Now, Cable, I mentioned I don't like this blue and gold on a lot of people. Forge, it looks okay on because that's kind of all I'm really used to. I actually like the blue and gold on Cable more so than this costume. But this seems to be the only costume we get of Cable these days in cartoons and whatnot. So I'll take it because I just freaking love Cable. But like the blue and yellow for him, I actually think does look pretty good on him. Archangel, Psylocke, like my god, this is such a good roster. This is such a good roster for the X-Men. And of course, this is like the classic Frank Miller Wolverine costume, like X-Men #1. It's a little bit different. Obviously, his suit's way more ripped up. He's not got the big smile on his face. He does have a smile on his face. And he's got some green goo on his claws, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. But this is such a great way to end the trailer, because like it's a nice little Easter egg that we're back. You feel it. Like it feels like the X-Men are back. The Fox X-Men were never really my favorite thing. They were good because it's all we had, but they were never my favorite thing. The most recent run that I've read of comic book X-Men was oh my god, the Krakoa age. Also not my favorite thing. This legitimately feels like it'll be my favorite thing of X-Men in a long time. And like we're back, it feels like the X-Men are back. Seriously, legitimately pumped for this. All right, that's X-Men Season 2. It's going to be streaming on July 1st, which means we have just a little bit over a month as of right now. I'm going to be going back and watching Season 1 again between now and then for sure. This has me very excited. I think it looks incredible. Leave a comment down below. What do you guys think about this? Is there something in the trailer that I missed out on or something that you really thought was cool? I love that we're bringing in some of the characters that didn't get enough love in the original show that we're going to get to see in an animated form. I think that's really cool. Psylocke and Archangel specifically are favorites of mine. Bishop and Cable are also super cool. The whole X-Men are just incredibly cool. Just give me all of it and I'll be very happy. But again, leave a comment down below. Give me your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And if you enjoyed this content, make sure you hit like and subscribe so that I see you in the next one.